This is KOIN 6 News right now.
And right now, a major closure due to this rock slide. We're going to tell you where I-84 is closed and what needs to be done before it can reopen today.
Plus, we're following it. A lot is happening as the strike deadline looms for Portland teachers. We find out what the teachers are going to be doing as the district prepares for a walkout.
And new details about a teen tackled by a school security guard. What we've learned about the punishment for those involved this morning. Those stories and much more straight ahead for you. Good morning and thanks for joining us here at just about 5 a.m. on a Thursday. I'm Chad Carter.
And I'm Alicia Esch. We're always glad to see you. We do want to get right over to Riley O'Connor with a look at your weather first this morning. Riley, good morning. Now, just so you know, it could be closed for quite a while due to stability concerns out there. And this morning, we do have team coverage of that closure for you. Our Carly Kennelly is standing by with your Plan B. But first, we want to head out live with our Brent Weisberg in Troutdale this morning. Brent, you're actually right where that closure begins. Happening today, a small memorial is expected to take place for a Clackamas County worker killed on the job. We are told coal workers of County Weighmaster Grady Waxenfelter will gather at the very spot where he was shot and killed. And as you can see right here, a memorial is set up for him along Highway 224 right near Barton Road. Employees are hoping to expand the memorial today. Waxenfelter leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Also this morning, U.S. Marshals and local investigators are still trying to find the man they believed killed Waxenfelter. Go ahead and take a look at your screen right here. We do have some footage of the suspect, Dirk White. There he is. Detectives believe he shot and killed Waxenfelter when he stopped him for driving a truck without a license. Investigators in Pierce County, Washington are also looking for White right now as he is wanted on a weapons charge and for questioning in a sex crime. So if you do see him, you're asked to please call 911.
Well, right now, a renewed search for a hit-and-run driver. Portland police say Victorio Noguera Barrera was driving a delivery truck on Southeast Holgate on Valentine's Day last year when he hit Tommy Gann. Now, Gann died later at the hospital. Police believe Noguera Barrera may be hiding out in California or Mexico. Crime Stoppers now offering a reward for any information that leads to his arrest and conviction.
This morning, we're getting answers. A woman is in a vegetative state after a car crash that her family says should not have ever happened. We wanted to know if police are going to be changing their policies after Kayla Wilson's family won a multi-million-dollar settlement. Wilson was 5 months pregnant when Jack Whitaker crashed into her while high on drugs. An officer responded to 2 911 calls, though, involving Whitaker the day of that crash, but he was never arrested.
They do have to live with knowing what happened to my daughter, to know that could have been prevented. And I think that's going to be tough on the both of them. No, because I mean,
we are told that the officer in this case followed Department of Justice guidelines, and he did not witness behavior that would call for an arrest.
It is 5:06 here on this Thursday morning. Time to check in once again with meteorologist Riley O'Connor for a look at our forecast. Morning, Riley. And today we're going to learn about a possible federal audit of Cover Oregon from a state lawmaker.
Here's what we know so far. You have more time to enroll in health care coverage if you need it. The Oregon House Health Care Committee unanimously endorsed a bill to extend that deadline to the end of April now. And that, of course, is due to all the delays and problems we've had. The bill also allows the governor to remove up to 3 members of the Cover Oregon board, but the Republican members of the committee were outvoted when they tried to propose some tougher ideas. For example, allowing people to go straight to insurance companies for coverage and still qualify for a federal subsidy.
This obviously is something that I believe is better policy than continuing something that we don't know will succeed ultimately. And I've tried to make that clear.
The chair of the committee says the Republican proposals are covered in other bills being proposed by other committees. That bill, though, now goes on to a higher committee.
5:09 and still to come this morning in Vancouver. Student tackled to the ground by a school security guard. Coming up, we get answers for a mother demanding to know why it happened.
Plus, temperatures sizzling in Sochi. Yeah, that's where the Winter Olympics are, and by those standards, it is warm. See how the rising temperatures are melting away that competition. KOIN 6 is following up this morning for a Vancouver mother. Her son came home bloodied after being tackled by a school security guard. 1 week ago, Cody Blacklock's mother contacted us and told us that her son was expelled from Hudson's Bay High School after some boys had picked a fight with him. Now, at the time, guards told her that they were concerned about his skateboard that he had. So our Chris Holmstrom went to get some answers.
When is it okay for these security guards to use force on the students?
Yeah, well, the only time that we, really would expect any type of physical contact is when that contact is going to help kids stay safe, including possibly the kid that we're interacting with.
School officials say after talking to witnesses, they decided to reduce Cody's punishment from expulsion to a suspension. The other kids involved in that fight were also disciplined, though, but there's no word yet on the guard in question. We do want to update you on a former KOIN anchor here. Many of you know Mike Donahue. This morning, he is recovering from complications that came up during a recent surgery.
Yeah, and Mike tells us his vocal cords were damaged during some throat surgery, and because of that, he really can't speak normally right now, but Mike says he's facing the challenge head on like he does with everything, with a great attitude.
I just have to say, the outpouring from the community here, there are so many times I'm out doing a story and people mention Mike out there, and I know he really appreciates that, and it's a lot of love that people have for him.
We're all very fortunate to get to work with him. Yeah. Thank you very much, Carly. Well, Alabama, just one of many states getting a dose of winter weather right now.
Very cold there, and many schools there are canceled. One superintendent, though, coming up with a pretty ingenious tune to alert the parents.
Cold, sleet, ice, and snow.
Cold, sleet, ice, and snow.
I wonder if they have a southern accent. That was Superintendent Hugh Taylor from DeKalb County, Alabama. And those kids at the end of the clip were his own children chiming in with their beautiful voices. Well, today some New Jersey students will be holding a virtual school day on a snow day. Classes are empty. You see why. Students from this high school will be logging in online. The district used up all of its snow days, so school officials hope that the online session will count as a regular day. Surprisingly, though, many of the students are on board with this.
Home every day.
I think in some cases it's a good idea instead of us having to come in on a day over spring break.
I think that most kids actually will do it, considering that they put in a rule that if you don't do the work, it goes in as an absence.
Students will have to stay logged on until 3 p.m., but whatever the weather is like outside, it'll be working. The state still has to sign off on the school district's decision, though, overall. Well, warmer temperatures in Sochi continue to be a problem for the Olympic athletes. 521 and a flooding disaster in England made worse by yet another weather concern. So coming up, why officials say the winds could prove to be deadly. You can certainly expect a mad dash at the jewelers and chocolate shops today, as tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Hint, hint, everybody. Americans are expected to drop a whopping $17.3 billion on Valentine's Day gifts. The National Retail Federation is saying nearly $4 billion of it is going to be spent on jewelry. How nice. Another good chunk of it is going to be going to roses. Prices this year, though, of course, are up due to high demand. However, growers are also saying that higher labor and transportation costs could push those prices even higher. And let's just say you haven't gotten around to picking up that gift for your significant other yet. Believe us, there are plenty of chocolate options out there.
There is chocolate everything, including these days. Well, there's chocolate-covered strawberries, of course, but now chocolate-covered bacon. Have we hit the bacon threshold yet?
No.
The sweet and greasy treats selling like hotcakes, which also go well with bacon. An Iowa chocolate shop says they expected to sell a couple hundred slices. Instead, they've sold well over 3,000. And the shop's owner says she expected to see it popular with men, but says it's actually about half and half for those coming in to buy the chocolate bacon.
Don't knock it till you try it, is all I'm going to say. It is 5:26, and right now, a landslide near Cascade Locks is keeping I-84 at Troutdale shut down. So drivers, coming up, we are going to see how many of you are going to have to deal with this and when it could potentially open up. Drivers, a major thoroughfare shutdown this morning. How long it is going to be taking before crews can even start to reopen eastbound I-84.
And a state of emergency for Portland Public Schools as a teacher strike looms just 1 week from today. But we'll tell you about some additional money from the state and how it may just make the difference.
Plus, hit again, snow and ice creating all sorts of problems in parts of the South and the East Coast. How it created yet another traffic nightmare, this time in another city. And a very good morning to everyone here in this city and beyond. It's 5:30. I'm Alicia Esch. All right, as always, thanks, Riley. We want to get back to that landslide near Cascade Locks. It shut down eastbound I-84 right at Troutdale this morning.
Yeah, NODOT says.
All right, we are following some breaking news right now for you. Vancouver police are searching for a missing girl, and we are told 12-year-old Hannah Turkington visited a friend just yesterday. Now, she called her mother from her friend's phone saying that she would be back by 6:30, but she didn't return. Police are now asking for your help out there in order to help find her. She is about 4'10", and she's about 100 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. This is her picture right here. Take a look. If you have any information, you are asked to please call 911. Parents, it is official. The Portland Public School District is declaring a state of emergency. The teacher strike is looming, and that deadline is now 1 week away. The union is planning to give the district a settlement package to avoid this strike later this morning. But just to clarify, the state of emergency allows the district to access some funding, and we've since learned that the state is forecasting the district will receive an additional $4.6 million next year. And that money brings the number of potential new teachers closer to what the union is asking for in these ongoing contract talks. So our Cor Harlan talked to both the teachers union and the district about that additional money. The district says they don't know how that new cash, though, is going to affect these ongoing talks. But coming up for you at 6, details on a new lawsuit that the district might be filing against those teachers. And of course, you can always count on us to stay right on top of those teacher negotiations. As soon as we learn more about this settlement that the union is offering today, we're going to pass that right along to you. This morning, it's back. Much of the South and the Mid-Atlantic states shut down again.
A winter storm, yet another one.
And of course, with that winter storm, you can expect those flight cancellations and delays. Already 4,600 flights have been canceled today. That number is likely to go up as the day continues. Now, of course, we're keeping an eye on PDX for you on days like this. And at last check, there is just one flight arriving from Atlanta that's been canceled. But if anything changes, we will let you know. And of course, we've been talking about that winter blast that many of our states are seeing right now out to the east of us. This is a live look at Morristown, New Jersey right now. Today alone, they are expecting 10 inches of snow. As you can see, it is just pummeling down right now. We'll keep you aware of all the situations in your weather all across the country right here on KOIN 6. A Maine man recorded a giant fireball in the sky, but we're not yet sure exactly what that is. Take a look. Bruce York says he was just driving along in South Paris, Maine over the weekend when he noticed something like this. There it is. Looks just like a fireball, right? He grabbed his cell phone, started recording the whole thing, and thousands have viewed his video after he posted it on YouTube and on Facebook.
It didn't look like anything that I'd ever seen before. It didn't look like any footage I'd ever seen of a meteorite or a comet, and it just struck me as odd.
Odd's a good word. Bruce says he's not even sure what it is, but an astronomer from the University of Southern Maine says he's guessing it might just be space junk, and that is pieces of a satellite breaking up and falling to the Earth. This does happen a lot. Well, you have been saying throughout the morning we got some systems that are going to be moving in, so we're definitely going to see some activity.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, thanks for that update there, Carly. And we all know that Portland loves its bicyclists, and now they are inspiring a whole company.
Bye.
Welcome back. Discussions aimed at ending the Syrian conflict do continue, but a UN diplomat is saying that Russia has presented a rival resolution to some key members of the UN Security Council. Here's how it works out. It comes after Russia threatened to veto a Western and Arab-backed measure and includes sanctions against President Bashar Assad's government. Envoys from the Security Council are set to meet today, and they are going to try and merge these two resolutions. Meantime, President Obama is expected to sign new legislation. It raises the federal debt ceiling again. This measure was just passed by the Senate yesterday, and it allows the government to borrow more money to pay its bills. The Treasury Secretary has warned that lawmakers had until the end of this month to avert a default. The legislation will allow the government, though, to pay for items like pension benefits, federal salaries, and even health care programs. 3 people are facing burglary charges this morning, and police actually tracked them down using a cell phone selfie. Police say say that the suspects had made off with $10,000 worth of stolen goods from a Southern California church. But while investigating, the officers came across a cell phone, and it contained one man's selfie picture. A detective then recognized the background. You see it here. He went there and found witnesses who led him right to the man. Officers arrested him and found all that stolen property. They also arrested 2 other accomplices. 5:57, and co-workers remembering a Clackamas County worker killed on the job. We've got a look at that growing memorial. That's coming up in 90 seconds.